Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do the review of this Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite, and I've been actually using this for slightly over 10 days now. So let's get on with this one, and I'll divide it between the pros and cons. What do I feel about it? And guys, as even on the box it says, it's all about the S Pen with the Note series. So yes, S Pen is the special thing about the Note series, and that's the same with this one. And I'm happy to say that Samsung did not skimp on the S Pen features. It is also actually Bluetooth enabled. But before we get to that, let's talk about the specs, and then I'll divide the review between pros and cons. As you can see, it is having a 6.7-inch screen powered by the Exynos 9810 SoC. Comes in 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, have a triple camera setup, a 32 megapixel front-facing camera, 4500 milliamp hour battery, and other specs are on the screen. So let's talk about what do I feel about this device. Let's start with the pros. And the first thing about Note devices, yes, it's a big device. As you can see, it has that really nice Super AMOLED screen. It's a 6.7-inch screen, and again, it's a Samsung AMOLED screen, so the quality of the screen is very good, so you don't have to worry about it, though it's just a full HD plus screen, but the quality is very good, so no issues regarding that. And another thing is that 6.7-inch is a big device, but I like the way Samsung has done the weight balance on this device. Though it's having a 4500 milliamp hour battery, and even that S Pen, I'll talk about the S Pen later on, the handset does not feel heavy. The weight balance has been done very well on this one. Now if we talk about the battery, let's talk about the battery itself. It has that 4500 milliamp hour battery, and the good thing is that it comes with 25-watt fast charger in the box. And in terms of charging, if I recall, it was at 14%, and after 1 hour when I looked at the charger, it was at 94%. So 94% actually. So it charges really quickly. Just slightly over 1 hour it takes to charge with the 25-watt fast charger that is supplied. Now, if we talk about the battery life on this one, which is again an important part, I would say considering the Note devices, this one actually has a pretty good battery life. In fact, I would say I'm not using, this is coming with the new UI, that is One UI. First, let me actually show you the UI. This is the new One UI. Let me adjust the brightness a little bit, guys. As you can see, it has all those toggles and all those things that you would expect, quite a bit of them. And out of the box, if you go over here and if you go to about the phone and the software information, as you can see, it runs on the Android version 10, so that's a nice thing. And I'm using the gestures, the One UI version 2. As you can see, I'm using the gestures and it works very well. You just you get the app tray like this, but if you hold on like this, you get the multitasking tray. And as you can see, the general performance is actually good, so no issues regarding the general performance. The Exynos processor handles it. I did not face any issues of lagginess on this one. And in fact, if we talk also about the RAM management, that was good. It keeps the recent apps, as you can see. This I had opened Twitter in the morning, it's in memory. YouTube also I had opened, it is in memory. Gallery I was playing around, it's in memory. Browser, as you can see. So the RAM management has been done well on this. Nowhere in the last 10 days of usage I felt that the RAM management was bad. So in that aspect it's good. Oh, I was talking about the battery life. And this comes with the new One UI. I don't like the battery starts of that. So I'm actually using this third-party batteries app known as Accu Battery Pro. And as you can see, according to this one, based on the last 10 sessions, it says that if I continuously use this device, I will get a battery life of about 11 hours of SOT. That's actually really good. That is with continuous usage, obviously. And I would say I was charging this phone once in about 1.5 days. And in terms of SOT, I was getting anywhere between 5.5 hours to about 6.5 hours of SOT. So the battery life, considering it's a Note device with that S Pen, the battery life is actually good on this one. I also did some gaming with this one. It's not a gaming-centric smartphone, but I did test Call of Duty, as you can see, and it runs fine. It was set at medium graphics settings, and as you can see, it plays it fine. But no way I would say this is a gaming-centric smartphone. If you're looking for a gaming-centric smartphone from Samsung, I would say you can look at the Samsung Galaxy Note, not the regular Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite. That might be better for gaming. But yeah, this can also run gamings. You can do gaming, but at the medium graphics setting. Now, general performance, as I've told you, is good. I did not have any issues regarding lag. But again, you buy a Note device because of the S Pen. And I would say S Pen is what makes this device very different. You get a menu over here. Obviously, you can create notes and all those things. And even when the phone is on standby like this, for example, you have that always on display and that in display fingerprint scanner. And when you open this, you can directly write notes over here, jot down, and this is very useful in a daily task you can do, whatever, and you can scroll also like this. So this is actually pretty useful. You can save this and play around with this one, and it gets saved automatically. And I would say that is what makes the Note devices very different. And as you guys know, I keep changing devices frequently. So I did not use the S Pen that much, but my sister actually uses the Note device. She actually has the Note 8, and now it will be almost about 2 years since she is actually using this device. And recently she had come to her house. So I asked her, do you really use the S Pen? So she told me initially when he got her Note 8 device, she was not using the S Pen. But gradually after 2-3 months, she started using it. And she says now that she uses the S Pen a lot. For example, she uses this screen write, she told me, a lot, almost every day, to jot down her tasks, what to do, what not to do. And also, let me just put this back and unlock. And she also told that now she's so used to the S Pen, even for stuff like, for example, for browsing and stuff, she uses this as a way easier. She says even selection of text is easier. And for example, she told me even that for multiple selection, for example, sometimes you have like that, because it has a button, you can do multi-select. Actually, this version is having the Bluetooth. You can actually select multiple like a mouse. So these are some of the things that makes it very easy. And of course, you can do even other stuff. For example, the Google Assistant got activated. For example, if I click this, you have this live message. This is pretty cool. Let's take a photograph here. Let's say I take this photograph, and now we can write on this. Subscribe. And now if you play, looks actually pretty cool, as you can see, and you can share this. So you can do all these stuff with the S Pen. So I would say this S Pen is what makes it very different. And for business centric users, or if you are even a creative professional, I would say you'll really like it. For example, my sister is also an artist. So she told me that she does a lot of doodling now using the Note. She showed me some caricatures or stuff that she created. So again, I would say great for business users as well as creative professionals. Another thing that you can do with this S Pen is that now that it has Bluetooth capabilities. For example, in camera, if I invoke the front facing camera, as you can see, as I've told you, we have a physical button over here, and I can use this for trigger. For example, I've kept it on timer, and it takes the shot like this. So you can use this. It has that Bluetooth capabilities. So again, I would say S Pen is what makes this Note device very different from any other Android smartphone. But again, the thing is that you have to really start using the S Pen to appreciate what S Pen is. Now let's also talk about the cameras. As you can see, we have a triple camera setup on this one, and all are actually 12 megapixel. But the cameras are actually good. The primary camera is having optical image stabilization, and then also the telephoto, that's the 2x zoom, also has optical image stabilization. And then we have ultra wide lens. And here are some of the samples that we have taken with this one. And as you can see, the camera performance is actually really good, as you can see with these sample shots. Even in indoor conditions, it did a good job. And even the front facing camera, that's the 32 megapixel front facing camera, did a particularly good job. Now let's talk about the cons. And the first con is that, don't get me wrong, it's sort of nitpicking. This one just has a single speaker here at the bottom. Let me show you my own channel to give you an idea. For example, let's open this one. And as you can see,
hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's do the full review for the Samsung
Let me go to the full quality.
And guys, I've been actually testing this device for almost slightly over a week now. So I'll share my experience. What do I feel about this device? And I'll divide it between pros and cons.
And as you can see, the audio quality is fine. It's decently loud, but again, I do miss the fact that this Note 10 Lite does not have a stereo speaker. Now, another thing that I've noticed is that this device has got an update. And I would strongly urge you guys that you watch my unboxing video, because I've covered a lot of aspects in the unboxing video, and also I showed a lot about the S Pen. But one thing that I noticed is that after the latest update, this in-display fingerprint scanner has become slightly slower, I would say. And sometimes 10% of the time I have to do it twice. This was not the issue prior to the software update. Now it's working perfectly fine, as you can see, but I feel it has slowed down a little bit. Hopefully Samsung does fix this with the next OTA update. Now, another thing is that, as I have mentioned, this smartphone is not for super heavy gamers. If you are sort of a person who does a lot of gaming, maybe the regular S10 Lite might be better for you. So overall, I would say it's a very good smartphone, and particularly I would say it's a good smartphone for people who always wanted that S Pen functionality. But if you always thought that the regular Note series were just too expensive, then you can certainly have a look at this one. And I would say this smartphone is ideal for business-centric or creative professionals. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and if you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, guys, catch you later.